Welcome to Aspirants to ACE, that is academic, competitive, entrance exams, and enrichment. In the series of videos on manufacturing industries, this is part 6, iron and steel industry. Overview. China remains world's largest crude steel producer, followed by India, Japan, and the United States of America. Per capita finished steel consumption of India in 2022 was 76 kg as published by World Steel Association. India is the largest producer of sponge iron in the world and the third largest finished steel consumer in the world after China and United States of America. The government has taken various steps to boost the sector, including the introduction of National Steel Policy 2017 and allowing 100% FDI in the steel sector under the automatic route. The growth in the Indian steel sector has been driven by domestic availability of raw materials such as iron ore and cost effective labor. Consequently, the steel sector has been a major contributor to India's manufacturing output. Development of steel sector. The economic reforms initiated by the Government of India since 1991 added new dimensions to industrial growth in general and the steel industry in particular. Licensing requirement for capacity creation was abolished except for certain locational restrictions, and the steel industry was removed from the list of industries reserved for the public sector. Automatic approval of foreign equity investment up to 100% was granted. Price and distribution controls were removed with a view to make the steel industry efficient and competitive. Restrictions on external trade, both in import and export, were removed with drastic reductions in import duty. General policy measures like reduction in import duty on capital goods, convertibility of rupee on trade account, permission to mobilize resources from overseas financial markets, among others, also benefited the Indian steel industry. The growth profile, slide 1 of 2. The liberalization of industrial policy and other initiatives taken by the government have given a definite impetus for entry, participation, and growth of the private sector in the steel industry, while the existing units are being modernized or expanded. A large number of new steel plants have also come up in different parts of the country based on modern, cost effective, state of the art technologies. In the last few years, the rapid and stable growth of the demand side has also prompted domestic entrepreneurs to set up fresh greenfields projects in different states of the country. Today, as the second largest crude steel producer globally and with a capacity of over 100 million ton, the Indian steel industry has come a long way. The growth profile, slide 2 of 2. Pig iron. India is also an important producer of pig iron. Post liberalization, with setting up several units in the private sector, not only imports have drastically reduced, but also India has turned out to be a net exporter of pig iron. The private sector accounted for 94% of total production of pig iron in the country. Pig iron, crude iron obtained directly from the blast furnace and cast in molds. Sponge iron. India, world's largest producer of sponge iron, has a host of coal based units located in the mineral rich states of the country. Over the years, the coal based route has emerged as a key contributor and accounted for 79% of total sponge iron production in the country. Sponge iron is a metallic product produced through direct reduction of iron ore in the solid state. The process of sponge iron making aims to remove oxygen from iron ore. The quality of sponge iron is primarily ascertained by the percentage of metallization, that is, removal of oxygen, which is the ratio of metallic iron to the total iron present in the product. Import and export of iron and steel. Although India started exporting steel way back in 1964, exports were not regulated and depended largely on domestic surpluses. However, in the years following economic liberalization, export of steel recorded a quantum jump. Subsequently, the rapid growth of domestic steel demand has led to a decline in the rate of growth of steel exports from India to ensure that domestic requirements are adequately met. India is currently a net importer of total finished steel. Iron and steel are freely importable and freely exportable. Demand, that is availability. Demand and availability of iron and steel in the country are largely determined by market forces, and gaps in demand availability are met mostly through imports. Interface with consumers exists by way of meeting of the Steel Consumers Council, which is conducted on regular basis. Interface helps in redressing availability problems, complaints related to quality. Steel prices. Price regulations of iron and steel was abolished on January 16, 1992. Since then, steel prices are determined by the interplay of market forces. Domestic steel prices are influenced by trends in raw material prices, demand, supply, conditions in the market, and international price trends, among others. As a facilitator, the government monitors the steel market conditions and adopts fiscal and other policy measures based on its assessment. Currently, GST of 18% is applicable on steel and there is no export duty on steel items. A steel price monitoring committee has been constituted by the government with the aim to monitor price rationalization, analyze price fluctuations, and advise all concerned regarding any irrational price behavior of steel commodity. Problems of iron and steel industry, slide 1 of 2. Poor demand, price slump, competition from cheaper imports, and delays in project execution are major problems in Indian steel industry. Inadequate supply of power and coal, inefficiency of public sector units, and underutilization of capacity are other challenging issues. Indian banks are grappling with bad loans, and at the same time, the industry, which has a long gestation period, needed huge investment. Raw material and infrastructure bottleneck issues are also there. Problems of iron and steel industry, slide 2 of 2. Obsolete technology in PSUs lead to inferior quality products, underutilization of labor due to frequent strikes, lockout, inefficient management, that is slow land acquisition, environment clearance, etc. factors facilitate dumping in the market, decreasing the global price, hitting the domestic producers and their exports. Global glut and a surge in cheap imports from China, Russia, Korea, and Japan have dented the domestic industry's fortunes. This brings us to the end of the video on manufacturing industries, part 6. Keep revising. The next video on manufacturing industries shall be uploaded soon. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more updates.